Hello, my name is Vaneesa. I'm a lightworker and I'm here to help. My microphone that I usually plug into my phone has broke, and as a commitment to myself to keep putting out videos even though they are not perfect by any means, I am going to use the microphone I use for my singing bowl meditations, which, by the way, I would love to make some videos someday. So this video, I really want to talk about childhood wounds and how they are affecting us in our present day, and how to do inner child work. So when we are young, up until the age of 7, we are completely absorbing everything from our environment. We do not know how to handle our emotions, we don't know much about the world, and we are getting all of this information from our primary caregivers. During this time, there are beliefs being programmed into us. We get these beliefs from our caregivers. That's why a lot of times when you see racism, it passes down from generation to generation. This is why, because it is actually encoded within us, these beliefs, whatever our primary caregivers or really any caregivers that we are around frequently in our childhood believe, they will be encoded into us unless we go in and change them. But what I see, the biggest problem that I see for so many people, and it really hurts me to watch them go through this, is when they have such deep childhood wounds that the inner child then begins to run the show. They're driving the car, right? And we don't want this. The inner child is supposed to be the part of us that is playful and full of wonderment to the world around us. But we definitely don't want this inner child to be running the show. And one of the ways that you can really see this to be true is if you have a really hard time dealing with your emotions, you're often triggered, you find yourself upset often. Something little can sort of affect you in big ways, and something little can have the potential to ruin your entire day. One of the main ways this comes up, and you see this clearly, is in your relationships, your intimate relationships, your romantic relationships. So if your partner says something that hurts you and that triggers a wound, you are automatically going to become defensive. You're probably going to turn around and say, no, but you did this and you did this. And at this point, you're completely on the defense trying to protect yourself, and you are not hearing what the person is saying. They have triggered your childhood wound. So if this is happening to you a lot, you definitely can be sure that you have childhood wounds. One of the other ways that you can tell is just traumas, that memories that you have. Have you suffered childhood trauma? And this trauma does not have to be severe, as in the case of physical abuse or sexual abuse. This can really be just the fact that you as a child did not feel seen, heard, and understood. Maybe you didn't feel safe. Maybe you felt like the black sheep. Maybe your primary caregivers withheld love from you when you did things that did not meet their standards, or that they said that you couldn't do, something like that. So this really affects us deeply, and we are a creature that we need others to survive. If we are babies just left on our own, we would die. We're not like some other animals, like alligators, who are just born on their own and they survive, and that's great. We need people to survive. So we learn from a really early age that there are things that we do that will cause us to have love and connection withheld from us. And we really need to go back and fix these childhood wounds in order to live a peaceful, harmonious life. And the only way to do this is to meet those needs yourself. So there are lots of free meditations on YouTube. You can just type in inner child work healing meditations. Teal Swan, who I absolutely love, I cannot, recommend her enough for any of the topics that she teaches on. She's just unbelievable. She has YouTube videos on the subject, but she also has a book called The Completion Process. And this is how I first learned how to do inner childhood work. Have learned from other teachers as well, but I really like her process the best. And what you want to do is to sort of start healing this inner child work. If you don't have someone to guide you in a meditation and you want to try doing it yourself, you can imagine a memory that you have, or just an emotion that you have. And if you're just imagining the emotion, you want to go into, relax, lay down, close your eyes, and ask your higher self, ask your spirit, when is the first time I felt this emotion? Maybe you're feeling rejected. So you want to lay down and say, when is the first time I felt this rejection? Don't try to think of the answer, just let it come to you. For me, when I was doing my inner child work, a lot of times a baby, a vision of me as a baby would come up, and this is how early these childhood wounds start. And so what you want to do is imagine the scene, basically. So this memory that you have, or even if you're in the meditation, you're thinking of an emotion that you identified, and you come up, well, what's the first time this happened? And you get this feeling it was a baby. So you're going to create this scene in your mind, and then I want you to enter the scene as an adult, your adult self now. And you need to validate your child self. So you might want to walk in the room and say, I can see that you're feeling this way, and I'm so sorry. I completely understand. You're right to feel this way. This isn't fair. I would feel this way too. And you really want to comfort yourself, spend some time with them, meeting your needs, doing what you would have preferred that the caregiver at that time do for you, and you need to do this yourself. So spend a little bit of time doing that. Then create a safe place. So all of my inner child, all the fragments of myself, I invite them into a safe place, which I created in my mind. And for me, it is a rainbow waterfall flowing into this body of water. It's a beautiful forest area. There's a bed in the forest, and there's a table set up with a bounty of food. And I invite this fragment of myself, this inner child, to come into the safe place and let them know that they can come here anytime they want. This is a safe place for them. And then after you do that, you want to ask them if they will incorporate themselves with you. Because what happens is when you have a trauma as a child or at any time in your life and it's not dealt with, you fragment off. A part of you fragments off and stays stuck in that point in time. It doesn't grow with you, and this is why they say your inner child. So that inner child did not grow up with you because you did not heal the trauma or deal with the trauma. So you're going to ask that part of you if it would like to incorporate and grow with you and become an adult now. So you invite that person to integrate into yourself. And then you want to go back into the scene, and at this point, I want you to call in someone that you really trust, someone that you find to be really just competent and safe. And I want you to ask them to go in and get the rest, any other parts of you that also felt this trauma. I'm going to turn my car off really quick. And then I just want you to lay there and imagine that these other parts are also coming into the safe place, and they're also incorporating into and integrating into your adult self. And then I want you to pop the scene. So yeah, this isn't going to be easy for everyone. Some people will need a guided meditation, but you can also start slowly by in your daily life when you feel that inner child come up, and you can feel this because it literally feels like you're having a fit, you're feeling a lack of control, you're feeling unsafe, and you're feeling really emotional. And so what you want to do is, calm yourself. Say, it's okay. You're safe. It's okay. And really love on yourself. Inner childhood work is the key to stop being triggered in our daily lives, in our relationships, at work. I love the work that I've done now. It is so worth it to me because when people come up to me and they have, this emotion, they're upset, really upset, or whatever it may be, there is a space there in between us where I am not feeling their emotion. I'm feeling my emotion, and I'm just observing their emotion. And I'm so grateful for this, and I would love everyone to get to this point because there's a child inside of us all. My heart goes out to children and to the parents. And a side note here, I want to mention that parents are doing really the best they can, and they have been raised a certain way. They have been raised with their own childhood wounds. And so one of the things that I did for myself personally was I imagined my primary caregivers blind in a room with the lights off, reaching around, trying to then parent me the way I wanted to be parented. And this is a really good um, visualization of reality because a lot of us, we just don't know what we're doing. We're doing the best we can, but we have all these wounds, we have all this pain. We just don't, we're not guided enough. We don't know. And so, on a side note, I really want you to try to change the perspective you have of your caregiver if you can, and apply some empathy here and some compassion for the pain and the situation that your caregiver was going through. And know that no one can meet these needs but you. You are the only one who can meet your needs. And until we stop searching outward for people or things to fill the void that we have inside of us, and we start filling that void ourselves, um, we're never going to be happy. There's no outside source is going to make you happy. And actually, it's a long, long process, but everything that you need and want is already inside of you. So I encourage you to look more into this, look into your childhood wounds, know that you can heal. There is healing available to all of us, but we do have to put energy into that. Whatever you put energy into grows. So put energy into healing yourself so that you can enjoy your life more. I love you so much. I sympathize with you for your childhood, and I love you. I hope you have a great day.